Rab are a true climbing brand, and they've been making amazing gear for the harshest environments for absolutely years. And this year, the new Latok range is better than ever, and this Latok GTX is a full-on tank. So you'll hear the word Latok in Rab's range quite prominently, and basically it means climbing. They've got the Latok bags and things like that, and they've got quite a selection of Latok jackets, all using top-end Gore-Tex. They have the Latok Alpine and the Latok Mountain, and this is the Latok GTX. If you do know the Latok range and you've seen it the last few years, this is replacing the Latok Extreme from last year's range. So like I mentioned, this is the top of the range Rab climbing jacket. What's really cool about Rab these days is they work really closely and support Glenmore Lodge. If you don't know who they are a group of outdoor instructors who are based in the Cairngorms in Scotland. So you can just imagine they get the harshest weather imaginable. The Cairngorm Plateau on a winter's day can be a really, really serious place to be. And most of them are using this jacket. And what they need from a jacket is complete security. So this is a real nice place to hide on a really stormy day. And it's absolutely fully featured, but still got an amazing cut for when you are climbing the more technical routes as well. So the first thing I really want to mention is the cut. Me and Sam here have just been talking about how nice this jacket is to wear because we're both tall guys. I'm in a large here and I'm nearly wondering, is it too big? I don't think it is. I could wear more layers in winter, but I'm 6'4" and I'm over 90 kilos at the moment. And actually I've got room in here to move. And what's really noticeable is the length. It fully covers my bottom, no problem at all. And most people who come in the shop these days go, why are all the jackets getting shorter and shorter? Now I get it, the front needs to be short if you're climbing in it so you can get your legs up high. But covering the bottom, that's really quite nice, isn't it? But even with all that material, it feels really nice and nimble to move in. It's got an amazing climbing cut, and I can imagine ice climbing and mixed climbing in this with no problem. All of the Latok range uses the top-end GORE-TEX Pro. That is brand new for the GORE-TEX this season. It's the latest EPE Gore Pro. So those of you who've been watching our channel might have noticed that I keep banging on about EPE and fluorocarbon free and all those type of things. So that's what the new Gore Pro is. It's expanded polyethylene and it is PFAS free. So that means no more nasty forever chemicals in the supply chain and getting into the environment, and it's just absolutely brilliant. What that does mean for me and you is we do need to care for our waterproofs a bit more than our old ones because the water repellency will come off a bit quicker. That's just life. But actually I think there's some real bonuses in this because what it means is we will wash, reproof and heat our jackets way more regularly than we used to. And I actually think that means we're going to make them last longer than ever before. Because before, we never did it enough. Let's be honest, no one did. Some people said they did, I still don't believe them. And you'd get a real big build-up of grime and sweat and grease, and then it was nearly too late, and you couldn't really bring it back. Whereas now, because we're going to have to do it more regularly, I think we'll keep them performing for their best for even longer. We have two separate videos explaining all that, one about PFAS leaving the outdoor industry, and one about how to wash and care for your waterproof. So check those out as well. A quick little reminder though, these jackets really like some heat, so that actually means tumble drying. You can iron if you're bold enough, but basically the water repellency in this, the molecules involved in that stand on end when they're heated, and that's what creates the beading. Over time they can collapse, so give it a reboost now and again. Even with all those changes, Gore-Tex have managed to keep the highest level of waterproofing available. So that has a minimum of 28,000 hydrostatic head. So that's a 28-metre water column. That's really, really waterproof. And there's another significant bonus with the new EPE membrane is it's thinner and actually a bit more pliable than the old Gore Pro. So what's quite interesting is this still has that super burly 80 denier face fabric, which is great for scratching around in chimneys when you're mixed climbing. Also today, pushing through some pretty harsh bracken, and it makes it really robust. Now, all the old ones were super crunchy and they had to be cut just perfect because it was so restrictive if it wasn't done perfectly. However, this new membrane feels much softer and freer to be in, and actually really nice to wear even when it's not chucking it down. Right, I best move on to the features because there's loads to get through. So it feels like a really clean jacket and not too fussy, but actually there's loads going on. For climbers, it's got the two huge chest pockets, which are absolutely perfect with your harness on or your rucksack on, and you can access those really easily. They'll swallow maps and gloves and hats and all the things you need. But what I do like about this one is it's actually got hand pockets. So many climbing jackets don't. And even though they are there and they can be used, actually they don't feel like they're in the way. I mean, you can hardly see them, right? And I think that's what people who work in the outdoors really like, because they might have loads of gloves if you're like teaching children or something like that. There's things being passed to you left, right and centre, snacks. So actually loads of storage is important. Inside it's got two nice mesh pockets, one with a zip somewhere really secure to keep valuables, and the other side a bit of a dump pocket, which I really like for gloves, hats, something like that. It also features huge underarm pit zips with two-way zips, essential for dumping heat when you're walking in the pouring rain. It also features a Reco reflector, which aids search and rescue in the remote mountain environments. The main front zip is reassuringly chunky and easy to use with gloves. It's YKK Visalon AquaGuard to give you the most security going. This is also two-way, which is quite nice, so it can give you a bit of freedom of movement, or you can wear it over a harness if you are belaying in it. I like the fact that the rest of the zips are the softer, more flexible style, so under the armpits and the pockets, so you do get a bit more freedom of movement. The hood, as expected, is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely huge, swallows a helmet, and it's got an amazing peak visor. The adjustment works really well. It's got one that hugs the head to make it nice and secure if you're not wearing a helmet, or even if you've got a small helmet in there and you want to get it nice and tight. And then it's got the two front pull cords as well to make it nice and snug around the face. And then it's got that little magic tab at the back on your neck. You pull that in, and those front two toggles that would traditionally just fly around and slap you in the face get tucked away, neat and secure. So that hood works really nicely, whether you're wearing a helmet or not. The collar offers lots of protection if you're stood in that belay for hours getting cold, and it's got a real nice little chin guard so it doesn't get rubbing on your chin. The Velcro cuff tabs work really nicely, and they go really flat, so if you're wearing gloves over them, that's fine. But they're also really spacious if you want to put your gloves inside. So even though this is a really beefy jacket built for the harshest environments, it doesn't feel particularly heavy. 496 grams, which is obviously not super light at all. It's also not stupidly heavy. And so even though this has been designed for those harshest conditions, for guides up in Scotland, things like that, I can easily see anyone wearing this. If you're enthusiastic about being outdoors in really bad weather, whether in Scotland, in England, in the Alps, anything like that, this will really give you the most protection you can get. You don't have to be climbing in the Himalayas, you could just be walking along in the Peak District. It gets pretty wet here as well.